Hello everyone, this is Miss Casey with Fibo Kids Art Academy and welcome back to another one of our November daily draws. Today we are on day 19 and we are going to be drawing pilgrims. So for our pilgrims on my desk you can see we have 3 pilgrims holding a plate of turkey. So for our drawing we're going to go ahead and get that started. You can take any piece of paper that you have. If you've been doing this in a sketchbook, go ahead and grab that out. And once you have your paper out in front of you, you are going to number it 19 because again, this is day 19. Now, once you have that number on your paper, we're going to go ahead and get started with our drawing. Now, for the drawing, you should be using a pencil. However, I'm going to be using a sharpie so you can see my lines better on your screen. Now we are going to be drawing 3 pilgrims today, and in order to have them all fit, we want to place it right in the middle, and we're going to start with our left pilgrim and then work our way over to the right. Now, in order to make it have as least amount of pencil lines that we need to erase, we're going to start first with the hat or the top of the head, so that way we don't have much lines to erase. So we're going to start on the left side. Our person on the left is going to be tilted a little bit. Again, this is just so that way we can have it fit. And we're going to start with a curved line, like a letter U. Now it's okay if it's going to be cropped off the left a little bit. Again, we want to try and make all our 3 pilgrims fit. Now once we have that curved line down at the bottom for the bottom of the hat, you can go ahead and bring that line up for the right and then up on the left. Now again, if it's cropped off a little bit on the left side, that's okay. Now once you have those 2 lines coming up, you're just going to draw 2 diagonal lines that come up for the rest of the hat. And then at the very top of the hat, you're going to draw a very small and thin oval at the very top of the hat. So now that we have that hat, we're going to go down to where our rim starts, and you're going to draw another curved line like a letter U from the left to the right. And then you want to add a big rectangle for the buckle on the hat. Then you can draw another smaller rectangle inside. And you're going to draw another curved line like a letter U slightly underneath that buckle. We want the buckle to look much bigger. So now that we have the hat on the left, we're going to go ahead and draw the head. So for the head, we're just going to draw the bottom of it. So we want that to be a nice big curved line, like it would be a circle, but we're not drawing the full circle. So once you have that, then you can go ahead and draw 2 ears on each side, one on the left, one on the right. And then once you have the head for the person on the left, let's go ahead and move on to the person in the middle. So we have the person on the left overlapping the person in the middle. So we're going to be drawing our details behind this person. So for the person in the middle, we're going to start with the bonnet on the hat, on the head. So we're going to start with a rainbow line from left to right, and we don't want it too long because we still need some room on our right side for our 3rd pilgrim. But once you have that rainbow line, you're going to start back over to the left. The side of the head is hiding a little bit behind this ear, so we're going to start a little bit above that ear and then draw a taller rainbow line. Now once you have that part of the bonnet, then right at the top from the left, you're just going to draw a few rainbow lines. Now we're just going to leave it hanging off the right a little bit because we want to leave room for the right, and the person on the right is going to be overlapping the person in the middle. So we're just going to kind of leave them there. Any lines that you still need to erase, you can definitely do that. That's why you are working in pencil. But now that we have the bonnet at the top of the head, next we're going to draw the big circle underneath the head. So we're going to start under the head on the left and draw a nice big curved line for the head on the right. Now you can have this come up to the right side of the bonnet, but again, our right side, just around the same area, as this left side here, that is going to be overlapped by the person on the right. So I'm going to leave this whole area empty. But again, if you drew yours a little bit too long, or maybe you connected it, that's okay. Whatever person we draw on the right, any lines that go inside, you can erase. But next we're going to go over to the right, and we're pretty much going to do the same thing that we have on the left. We're going to start with the top of the hat for the Pilgrim hat, and we're going to draw a curved line like a letter U and over to the right side of our paper. And then you're going to bring that up on the left, and if you have any space on the right, you can go ahead and bring that up, but I actually don't have any space, so I'm just going to leave it a line on the left. Then I'm going to bring that up with a diagonal line, and at the very top I'm going to draw a skinny oval for the top of that hat. Once I have that, I'm going to draw another letter U for the start of the rim, and then I'm going to draw a big rectangle for the buckle of the hat, and then another curved line right next to that for the band. And now that I have the hat, I'm going to go ahead and start the head. And again, we want a nice big curved line, almost like drawing a circle, and that's for the head. And then on the left side, you can go ahead and add an ear for the person, and then another ear on the right side. Okay, so now we have our people left, middle, and right. We have their hats. Next, we're going to go ahead and add the turkey that they're holding. So for the turkey, we're going to start with a curved line on the left like a letter C, and then a curved line like a backward C on the right. Now you want this to be down in the middle, and you want it to be in the middle lower than the pilgrim's heads, because you want to give enough space for their body. So this is somewhere in the middle, down below their head. And then once you have those two curved lines, you're going to go ahead and bring it down a little bit and curve it like a letter U to attach to those letter C's. Okay, and then you're just at the very top going to draw a nice big rainbow line for the turkey, top of the turkey. Okay, but of course we want to add the turkey legs, so we're going to go ahead and draw a nice big, almost like a letter U, but in the middle of that letter U, or sorry, rainbow line, sideways rainbow line. In the middle, you're going to draw a curved line going the opposite way, and that's where we'll start the legs. So we're going to draw two diagonal lines coming out. And then as you reach the end of that turkey, you're going to draw two curved lines, like two rainbows, for the end of that turkey leg. Now, in the middle, you can go ahead and extend that line down the middle just a little bit, and then go ahead and erase any lines that go inside of the turkey leg. So I've crossed it out. You should have an eraser to be able to erase that. I'm going to highlight it with red so you can see that a little bit better. So right inside of that turkey leg, you're going to erase. Now once you have that line erased, we're going to come to the back, draw a smaller rainbow line, and then two more smaller diagonal lines, two more smaller rainbows on the end for that back turkey leg. It should be smaller because it's in the back, it's further away. Now that we have that big turkey in the middle, you're going to go ahead and draw a nice big plate for it to sit on. And you're just going to draw an oval that comes right around the turkey. So now that we have that plate for our turkey, next we're going to draw the body and our two friends on the left and the right holding the plate of the turkey. So for the left side, we're going to draw a big curved line like the letter C that comes down to the bottom of the plate. And then you're going to curve that around and bring it up to the side of the plate. Now where that hand or that curved line meets the plate, you're just going to curve it around to the bottom of the hand, and that is going to be our hand. So then you want to take your eraser and erase the part of the plate that goes inside of the hand. Then once you have that, you're going to go ahead and curve a line up for the inside of the arm. And then we'll do the same thing on the right side. So we're going to come down to the bottom of the head on the right, draw a nice big curved line that comes around to reach the bottom of the plate, and then curve it up and around to reach the side of the plate. Now where the hand touches the plate, you're just going to curve it over to the bottom of the arm. And then bring that line up for the inside of the arm. And then go ahead and take your eraser and erase any line of the plate that goes inside of that hand. All right, friends. So now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and next draw all the rest of our details. So for the body in the middle, we're going to go ahead and draw 2 curved lines that come down to touch the top of a plate or the turkey, wherever that line ends. That's going to be for the body for the person in the middle. And then you can go ahead and finish off the body for the people on the left and right and draw those 2 curved lines that come behind the person in the middle. Okay, then once you have that, next we're going to add in the face details and then we'll add in the clothing details. So for the face details, we're going to go ahead and you can draw any kind of face that you want. I'm going to have the person on the left and the right with eyes open. Since they are holding the plate, they need to make sure they're watching what they're holding. So I'm going to draw 2 small eyes for the left and the right. And since our person is tilted, I want to make sure that that follows that tilt of the head. Then I'm going to draw a short curved line for the nose and a big smile for the mouth. I do want to make sure I have a little smaller circle inside the eye for an eye sparkle. And then I'm going to draw some eyebrows, and instead of regular lines, I'm going to make these eyebrows shapes. Now once I have the face, I can also add in some hair. And for the boy's hair, I'm going to start at the top of the ear and bring that up, the curved line. And then same thing for the right side, bring that up with the curved line. And then I can also go in the middle if I want to add in some hair peeking through the hat. Now for the girl in the middle, I'm just going to have her eyes closed because she's super happy her eyes are closed. So right in the middle, I'm going to add 2 rainbow lines for her eyes. A small little curved line for her nose, and it's pointing the opposite way than this person here. Then I'm going to add a nice big mouth because she's super happy. I'm going to draw in her eyebrows. And again, these are going to be shapes rather than simple lines. And now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead, and I don't really see her ears, but I'm going to try and draw the side of her hair, depending on where her ears would be. Okay, now once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and add in just a little bit more hair coming down on the bottom here. I want her hair to be a little wavy. As you can see in my sample, I have these curved lines for the waves of her hair. But now that I have that, I'm going to move on to the person on the right. And again, I want this person's eyes to be open, so I'm going to draw 2 small circles. And again, it's tilted based on the face on the right. I'm going to add 2 smaller circles inside for the eye sparkles. But again, you can add any kind of eyes that you want. Once you have that, you can go ahead and add in a little curved line for the nose, and it is facing inside. Since this person is on the left, it's facing to the right, and since this person's on the right, it's facing to the left. Then I'm going to add a nice big smile. So he's super happy to be holding the turkey. Then I'm going to have some eyebrows. Again, they're shapes instead of simple lines. And then from the top of his ear, I'm going to add in some hair, and I'm going to have it be a little jagged this time. Okay, and it's going to be peeking through on both sides of the head. And once I have the hair, and again, you can add any kind of hair that you want. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine. But once you're done with those face details and the hair, next you're going to get to the clothing. Now, pilgrims look like pilgrims a lot because of their hats or their bonnets, but also because of their clothing. They usually have black clothing with white collars. So we're going to start those collars. At the bottom of each head, you're just going to draw like a letter V. And this can be like a regular letter V, or it can be a little curved. Once you have that letter V, you're going to draw a line that comes down from the point, down the middle of the clothing. And then on the outside, on both the left and the right side of the letter V, you're going to draw another kind of curved letter V pointing out to the left and the right for those collars. Left and right. Left and right. Okay, and that's going to be the clothing for our pilgrims. Now that is the end of our drawing. We do have some lines, just small lines that you would want to erase, so make sure that you've erased those lines. If you also made some lines that you need to erase on the other parts of your drawing, make sure to do that. And then you can go ahead and put your pencil down. Now if you need a little bit more time to do the drawing, please feel free to pause. And then if you need more time to erase as well, pause. But next we're going to be outlining our drawing. Now I already did my drawing in Sharpie, so mine is outlined. So if you need some more time to outline yours, go ahead and pause this video so you can outline. Now I just used one single Sharpie to outline the same thickness. However, if you want to use different thicknesses of Sharpies, a thin Sharpie, a thick Sharpie, you can go ahead and do that, and that will be up to you. So if you are needing some time, pause the video, and then when you're ready, press play so you can continue on with us for our coloring steps. But friends, if you are done outlining, next for our coloring steps, I'm going to be doing my coloring steps with some marker and also add in a little touch of color pencil. So if you would like to follow along with me, go ahead and grab out your markers. But if you want to use different materials, you can go ahead and use any materials you want for this next step. Okay, so again, I'm going to be taking out my markers here. Now, I'm going to be using the color scheme we've been using for our fall daily draw. Those are fall colors like warm colors, red, orange, and yellow, and then browns and even a little pop of green. However, colors like black and gray are also good colors to use, especially since they are neutral. They don't really have to follow the color scheme, but using them will help block out some areas that you don't really want to add color to, or maybe shade in some white areas. So black and gray I will be using as well. So first I'm going to start with the details on the hat, or the tops of their heads. Now hats are normally black or brown for pilgrim hats, but if you want to change it up and do different color hats, that's up to you. So I'm going to start first with my guy over here. I'm going to have him wear a brown hat, and so I'm going to outline first around my details. Now the band and the buckle are usually a different color than the rest of the hat, so I'm going to leave those empty for now. And then once you're done outlining, you can go and fill in, and when you're using marker, you want to try and go nice and neatly. If you have a width at the end of your marker, you can use the wide side to get nice thick lines, and that helps you fill in the areas much easier and neater. It keeps it nice and smooth. And once you're done filling in that area, you can choose another color for the band and the buckle. Now for the band, I'm going to make it black. So I'm going to take my black here, outline the band, and fill that in. Now the buckle, I'm going to have yellow, but the inside of the buckle is a little bit of the band showing, so I'm going to fill that in, the little smaller rectangle, and then fill in the rest of my band here. Then I'm going to take my yellow and fill in that buckle. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and start on the bonnet here. Now I want my bonnet to stay white, but I'm going to add in a little bit of shading with my gray. So right along every rainbow line at the bottom, I'm just going to add a simple little vertical line to show that that is where the ruffles of the bonnet are. And then on the left side here, you can do this on the right side instead, it's up to you, but I'm just going to add a little bit of some shading, throw in some thin lines there so it's not super thick. Okay, so there's some shading there, and then I'm also going to come across the top and get thicker as I come down. and then add in a little bit of shading along the edge here. And again, I'm just going to throw in a few thin lines so it's not so dark. Okay, and that's a little bit of hatching. If you guys remember that from some of our daily draws before. Hatching is just one line at a time coming down. It helps you add in a little bit of shading. But now that I've shaded in my bonnet, next I'm going to move on to my other hat, and so that way it looks a little different. I'm going to change the hat to a black hat this time. I'm going to outline the hat. And remember, the band and the buckle are going to be different colors than the rest of the hat. I'm going to fill it in, use the wide part of my marker to get nice thick lines, one line at a time and in the same direction to keep it nice and neat. All right. Now that I'm coming up to the end, filling in the larger areas of my hat, I'm going to choose a color for the band, which I think I'm going to do brown. And then I'll again fill in my buckle with yellow. Don't forget the smaller rectangle inside your buckle is part of the band as well. So I'll take my yellow and fill in the buckle. Alrighty, friends. So now that I filled in the hat details are on top of the head, next I'm going to fill in the head and hair, face details, all of that fun stuff. So for the hair, I think I'm going to stick again with my fall colors, and I think I'm going to do orange hair, red hair, and yellow hair. Do all the warm colors. So I'll start with my orange. Fill in the hair here. Again, you want to outline. And since we added shapes for our eyebrows, your eyebrows are usually the same color as your hair. So since I'm filling in the hair now, I'm going to take that same color and fill in the eyebrows. However, if you didn't add shapes for the eyebrows, you don't have to worry about that. So now I'm going to fill in my girl's hair with some red. Okay, get the other side. Get the eyebrows, and then don't forget, if you made the person in the middle a girl, you have that extra hair down at the bottom in between the people. Okay, there's my girl, and now for my boy, I'm going to add in some yellow hair. So again, you want to outline and then fill in using those nice thick lines. Your hair may be a little different than mine, and that's okay. Just take your time. Our hair might be different, might be bigger, smaller than mine, so it might just take different time for us. However it is, just make sure you fill in the eyebrows if you added shapes for your eyebrows. But once you have filled in the hair and the eyebrows, next, if you have black, you can go ahead and use a black marker, or you can even use your black Sharpie. And if you have your eyes with details and you want to fill in some of the black areas, you can go ahead and do that with your black marker or Sharpie now. Okay, so I have my eyes, and then I'm actually going to leave my mouth open, make it look like white teeth. They're super, super happy smiling with their teeth. But if you want it to make it look like their mouth is completely open, you don't see teeth, you just see their mouth, maybe a little bit of their tongue, you can go ahead and fill it in with black as well. Maybe leave a little space for their tongue, or just fill it in completely with black. I'm going to leave it white though. So now that I have that, I'm actually going to keep my black out because now I'm going to move on to my clothes. And as I was telling you guys, pilgrims are usually known for their black clothes and then white collars. So I really want that to stand out. However, if you would like to use brown instead or any other color, you can definitely color in their clothes with a different color. But I do recommend leaving their collars white. Again, that just helps to kind of pull the idea together that they are pilgrims. But I'll go ahead and outline around the clothes here. Now, since I am using black, Some of these lines that show like where the arm is or where the middle of the jacket or shirt is, if you use black on top of black, you won't really be able to see that. So if you want, you can go right next to it, leave a little bit of a white line. It might be hard to fill in around that, but you can try. And if you leave a little white line, that will help to kind of get that idea across that it is meant to be for like the arm line or the jacket separation line. But if you accidentally just fill it completely in, that is okay. It doesn't matter. That's just a little tip if you would like to see those extra lines. I'll show you what that would look like. So I have these little white thin lines to show, but if you want to just leave them, fill them completely in, that's okay too. Just make sure that you fill in nicely, get those complete lines, nice and solid. Now since your colors are white, you can just go right up to those edges and fill that in. And to break up, so that way they're not all, the clothes are not all black, you can definitely use different colors instead to help you with that. I will just use all black. All right. And once you are done, filling in all of the clothes, then you can move on to your turkey and your plate. Now for a turkey, we usually see brown turkeys. They're nice and crisp as they come out of the oven. So I would recommend to use brown. If you want to use like a gold or a tan, you can do that as well if you have those colors for your markers. But I will use my brown once I am done filling in the rest of my clothes. Now, I know we haven't filled in the skin quite yet, and that's okay. I have an extra step that we can do with that, but if you would like to just continue with your markers and fill in the skin, you can do that as well. All right, friends, so I have come up to the very end and filled in my clothes. So now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the turkey, and I'm going to take my brown. Again, you want to make sure you outline. Now you don't want to go inside the leg bone. You can go around the bone at the end of the turkey leg. And then again, just use your thick lines up and down one direction nice and carefully to fill that in. Now if you want the turkey leg to stand out, you can go ahead and add a few layers onto those lines, but just make sure not to fill in the actual bone at the end of the turkey leg. Okay, so again, you can layer right on top of that, and that will help that area stand out. But once you have that, you can leave your plate white and maybe just add a little bit of shading with your gray or your blue to add a shadow underneath your turkey, or you can have your plate completely gray and still add a shadow. I'm going to go right around the bottom of my turkey here, add a shadow, and then I will leave my plate white. I just have my shadow now. And I'll leave my plate white, but if you want to fill it in completely, I did do that for my first one. You can still see the shadow, and then the rest of my plate is gray. All right, but once you are done filling in with your markers, all that's left is the skin of your pilgrims. Now you can choose to color in the skin with your markers, or if you want, you can use some colored pencils or even chalk pastels, any other material if you'd like, or you can just continue with those markers. But I'm going to use my color pencils just to give it a different look, nice and soft. So I'm going to choose some skin colors and fill in my face, my ears. And when you use your color pencils, you want to make sure you use the side of your pencil, press lightly. And if you want that to look a little darker, you would just press, instead of pressing hard, you would add more layers. And you want to make sure, especially if you're using these lighter colors, that you fill in all your white spots. Don't forget the neck. And for these people on the ends, left and right, you also don't want to forget their hands. Now I have a big red mark inside my hand. That was just to help you erase that line. But your hand should be completely empty, and then you can go ahead and color that in with your skin color. Don't forget your ears. And again, if you want that to look a little bit darker, you can just add more layers. All right, now I'm going to use a gold for my next skin color here. And again, press nice and lightly. Now I don't have any ears since the faces are covering up my person in the middle, so I'm just going to color in the face. Press lightly. You can use the same skin color for all your pilgrims, or you can change it up. It's up to you. I'm going to be changing it a little bit. So I have the neck, the face. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to move on to another color. Now I think I'm going to do like a little bit of a light brown. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. And then with my light brown, I'm going to fill in my skin here. Don't forget the ear. And I left my mouth white, so I want to make sure I don't fill in the inside of the mouth. If you do, you can just erase it. If it was marker, you really can't erase, so color pencil helps in that way. And again, if you want it to look a little bit darker, you can just add more layers. You don't press harder, you just go in a different direction, a different layer, and that will help build and make it a little bit darker. Don't forget the skin, and then for this person on the right, you also don't want to forget that hand. And then once you are done filling in the skin, if you would like to make your pilgrims look super cute, you can go ahead and add in a little bit of some cheek color. So I'm going to take my pink here, and right underneath the eyes, I'm going to add a little bit of some color for their cheek. You can do this in like an oval, and just lightly fill that in. Or you can just add in a little bit of color on. You can cross hatch it in different directions. Okay, however you want to do that. I know it's a little hard to see. But you can go ahead and add in just a little bit of color to their cheeks. Okay. Again, you can do that with the shape like an oval, or you can just cross hatch your color. And then once you're done with that, if there's any other details you would like to add to your pilgrims, go for it. Use whatever materials you want. But I hope you guys had fun with this daily draw and learning how to draw pilgrims as well as color them. And I can't wait to see what you guys create. Make sure to share your artwork with us. But thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you again tomorrow for another daily draw. Thank you. My name is Miss Casey, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.